Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Tuesday 10 at 10. And I wanted to reach out to Richard and say thank you to him and Mark for filling in for me while I was gone. Um, it was nice to take a vacation, but every time when you come back, it's all about facing reality again. And it takes a few days before you can actually dig through your emails and try to keep up with everybody. So, if I owe you an email or two, just know that I am going to be back in the game today and you'll hear from me. Vacations is so important. I can't remember when the last time I had one, and it was truly an amazing adventure for me and my family, going into the middle of Oregon and just not having any kind of Wi-Fi or connection. And it was great for me. It was great for the family, and we learned about nature and rocks. And Oregon is a wonderful place to study rocks because we got so much new volcanic activity in the last few hundred years. So it was a great break, and it's a little harsh coming back to reality and seeing what's going on. And I just want to let everyone know that we all have differing viewpoints, and we don't necessarily need to agree with each other 100%. But you know what? In the discussions that we have with each other, please be kind, and have some compassion and kindness in understanding the other party's point of view. Okay, regardless of where you stand on this, it's not okay to be harsh. It's not okay to make your voice sound like it's the only correct voice. Just listen and understand what other people are going through. And most importantly, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Last thing we need is more adversity. So listen, understand, speak kindly, and act kindly. And that's what I hope everybody can do at this during these hard times. Okay, so I'm still going to do what I'm going to do today, and that's to answer the questions that came onto the website in the last week. And they aren't any different, regardless of whether the pandemic is on or if there are riots going on. The questions are still going to come in, and I'm still going to answer them. So let's start with the first question today. And that is, can we use tap water for dough making, as tap water has chlorine in it? So I would like to address the fact that whether you are a small scale baker or a large industrial scale baker, the chlorine in tap water is not going to harm your yeast activity. Okay, it's strong, but the yeast that has been commercially made available to you should be able to survive that chlorine in the tap water. Okay. Unfortunately, this is not what I recommend in most industrial setting, because you should put your water through a filtration or some kind of a water system, first before using it for mixing. And usually those systems remove chlorine, okay? But not because the chlorine is harmful or anything like that, because you want to create a water system that is consistent throughout the whole year, okay? And for that to happen, sometimes chlorine gets removed, all right? So, yes, you can absolutely use tap water for dough making, and it's not because of the and the chlorine isn't going to do much to it. Okay, so good luck. Okay, from our Facebook page, is there any consistency in adding calcium propionate 0.5% to prevent mold in sliced toast. So I don't know what you really mean by inconsistency. If you're seeing your product being or having mold at an application rate of 0.5%, and certain days you have mold, certain batches you don't have mold, if that's what I'm understanding, yes, you do see things like that in industrial baking. And here's why. Firstly, if I can guess accurately, 0.5% is it's appropriate. And if you do see some in certain batches versus others, and it's the same flour, it's the same Kel-Pro. Okay, the only thing I can think about is the pH. Okay, if your pH is not at the right pH, and you can view more about this on a Kel-Pro page, it's to do with your fermentation. Okay, so go look at your fermentation and make sure that is consistent. If one batch you're fermenting for 1 hour versus the other batch you're fermenting for 2 hours versus 1.5 hours, that's where your inconsistency is coming from. So you know that. I mean, is there a perfect pH? No, but it is what you can control to make the same consistent pH for all your batches. That's what's going to make the difference. Okay, again, fermentation time affects greatly your particular pH, and basically other ingredients like water and sugar and other alkaline ingredients will affect that. So if you keep all those consistent, you should be able to have a consistent performance on your Kel-Pro. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Yikes, I lost my question. Give me a second. Okay, my battery's gonna run out too. How fun. Okay, so on our natural preservative page, thank you so much for your information. I'm looking for some advice on longer shelf life for baked goods to sell it to stores. I would greatly appreciate any information. All the best. Andrea, let me tell you what, this is not a 10-minute conversation. This is a many days, many hours consultation. So you would need to buy a consultation package for us to help you increase the shelf life of your baked cookies. If you cannot afford that consultation package, please post your specific questions onto the forum. What happens in the forum is we all come together to help answer your questions. Okay, so that's a community teach and learn format. So please take advantage of it. Post it on the forums. Okay. All right. So from our coconut flour page, can coconut flour be eaten uncooked? And the answer is yes. I am launching a gluten-free vegan baking business using oats and coconut, sugar, maple sugar. Can the dough be eaten raw? Because I use flax seeds instead of eggs. I am not a baker by trade. It's okay. A lot of people enter the baking field with innovation like yours because they're not bakers. Okay. So I'm totally jazzed by your business. I'm doing this because I love to eat gluten-free and dairy-free, and I simply can't find healthy, delicious, fresh baked items. And I would love some information on several topics that I'm doing this nutritionally. Can the dough be eaten raw? Coconut flour is the only ingredient in question for me. So if you have more questions, please send in an email to support@bakerpedia.com, and we'll bring you on our forum Fridays so we can all discuss and help you out in your problem. Okay, so what I would like to see for you is a kill step. All right, so it's all right if you're baking from home and you're giving it to friends and family, and your batches are only, say, about 3 to 5 pounds. Okay, it's a whole other story altogether if you're producing in bulk or producing in the mass or like 50 to 100-pound batches. That's a problem, and this is why kill step. You have to provide a kill step, and you have to provide sanitation, really good sanitation methods to produce something raw, okay? Because you don't know what's going to happen in the process of getting the product from your supplier to actually selling it to your consumer. So that's why the baking industry is so safe, because we have a kill step. But what you're trying to do in terms of a raw, gluten-free, dairy-free cookie dough is you're taking out away that kill step, and that is providing an opportunity for food poisoning, okay? And we will go more into that if you come onto our Forum Fridays. One more question before we go. In commercial puff pastry production using multi-stage mixing, how long would the dough be mixed for the first stage, slow or fast speed? Okay, so for commercial, I would recommend slow to pick everything up until you get clean, right? Until the dough is clean. So that takes usually about 1 to 2 minutes, okay? And then you do fast until you can pull the window, because the puff pastry requires less or no shortening in the dough side so that you can layer it with the fat. Okay, so your dough layer needs to be developed to be able to entrap the air. Okay, if you don't develop it properly, you're not going to get the puff. Good luck on that. Okay, so quick shout out to our class sponsors, Grain Millers, next week for sponsoring the gluten-free Bakerview. Okay, it's a gluten-free seminar that Grain Millers has sponsored, and we'll talk about oatmeal, we'll talk about oat fiber, and also we'll talk about some basic techniques on gluten-free. So if you are interested in this field, please come and join us. All right, sign up, follow the link below. All right, you need to be a Bakerpedia Academy member, and membership is free to attend. Tomorrow I'm going to do Wisdom Wednesday on some more gluten-free tips. And then on Thursday, I'm bringing on the Bartek team. The Bartek team is going to explain the newest innovation, okay? So exciting week today. So I hope everyone is busy baking well. And I will see you again tomorrow, okay? Bye.